Hi, and welcome again to Conversations with Desiree and Marian.
Hello.
So in the last video, we showed you in the previous video, the process of how to get to more inner peace and happiness. Now, it seems a bit funny, but in order to do that, we invited you to go to a situation that upsets you, okay? And that can be anywhere on the scale from minor irritations to major setbacks in life. And how to do this process after you've identified. Some people like to start practicing the actual investigation with the easiest examples, so a bit further away to get some practice. And other people are so fed up with the pain, they like to start with the biggest one. So it's just a matter of, what your preference is, where you want to start with. Now, one advice to give you when you do this work is to do it on paper, because that is how you can keep your mind concentrated and not go into, if you do it just from your head, your mind goes into all kinds of justifications and stories and wanting to be right. So the advice is really to do this on paper. Okay, so what we said in the previous videos, find one situation, a concrete situation, and find the thought there that upset you the most, that had the most charge for you. And Desiree will tell you again what she found the situation we talked about in the previous video.
Yes. So the situation was that I was many years ago creating my website. I wanted my husband to help me, which he didn't because he was mainly gone. And when I presented the finished website, he found mistakes and criticized it in a way. And so what we came in the last video as the key sentence that caused me the most pain of it was, he's criticizing me. Because I was in a time in my life where I had anyway already low self-esteem, and his criticizing the website that I just worked on just poured extra fuel on it and made it more painful. So we are honing in on that sentence in this video.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's start. After you have this thought and this situation identified, then the actual work begins of the work, investigating those thoughts, looking into the things you were believing at the time. Okay, and as we said before, the work consists of 4 questions and what we call some turnarounds. So we'll explain that later to you. Today, we're just going to do the first 2 questions. So we're going to demonstrate the first 2 questions to you. And that's what I would like to do with Desiree. So Desiree, go back in your mind to that situation. You're ready to celebrate the new website, and Peter starts to criticize. Now, the first question is it true? So the statement was, Peter is criticizing me. My question to you, Desiree, is it true? Peter is criticizing me.
I would have to say yes, because I'm showing him the website and...
Here, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you. Okay. The answer to the first 2 questions is just a yes or a no. The work is like meditation. So to take your time with it. And again, there's no right or wrong answers. It is just to experience from you from a different place, whether that statement, that thought was true for you in that moment or not. Okay, so just yes or no. So Peter is criticizing me. Is it true?
I would say yes.
Okay. So then we go to the second question. Again, same statement, same thought you had in that moment. Peter is criticizing me. Now the question is, Desiree, can you absolutely know that that's true, that he's criticizing you in that moment, in that situation?
Okay, so let me go back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I absolutely know that he's criticizing me? Well, if it's about absolutely no, I would have to say no.
Okay. Now, did you all see what Desiree did? She really took her time and she said, let me go back. So it really is in your mind's eye. You go back to that situation and you see it as if you were there now. It's a great example of how she did that. So how did you get to your no in this case?
So when I look at that situation, I see him doing what he always does. If you give him any sheet of paper, Excel sheet or written stuff, he always finds mistakes right away. He has like an eagle eye for mistakes. So as soon as he saw the website, that eagle eye just kicked in. So he wasn't really looking at me. He wasn't really criticizing me. He was seeing mistakes like he always does, and he was pointing them out like he always does. And if I now think back and see his body language and his facial expressions, they were not in any way against me. They were really more, most likely now looking at it now, I would say he wanted to protect me, that other people see that I made a mistake, rather than telling me that I'm not good enough to do the website right. So that actually takes away a lot of that heat that I was feeling, because it's actually not against me. So he wasn't criticizing me. If I really go back to that core sentence that was so painful, that core sentence is not true.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful how you experience it. That's what this meditation does for you, is to sit with it for a moment and to experience when you, without any justification, or because that's what our mind does. We look for proof, we look for expectations to the future. And if you really sit with it and only experience what was true for you in that moment, the sureness that you had of, yes, he's criticizing me, slowly makes you realize that it's actually a no.
Yeah, and I recognize, and that happened to me many times when I did the work, is I have an inner struggle of wanting to get to an answer, because I think they want me to answer yes or no, depending on what I have a feeling they want me to answer. And then I either have that inner struggle of wanting to comply or wanting to resist. Yeah. So it's all in my head right now between the person who asked me the question and me, until when I got this awareness that this is a struggle I'm having, all of a sudden I could actually let that go, and I could sit with it and wait until the answer comes up from the bottom up, instead of thinking down from the head. And that actually made for me such a difference in experience of coming to a true answer that's mine.
Yeah, that you make a really good point here, because this work is personal work, right? Yeah. The answers are for you. They're not for a facilitator. They're not for Peter. They're only for, the answers are there for you. So it's great to notice that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next video, we will go to the next question, the third question, the third of the 4 questions of the work. And please, another time the invitation is to follow along with us. So keep the situation that you wrote down and the thought that upset you in that moment, and do the work with us on paper next time.
All right. Thank you so much.